In 2008, a small and not very well known game designer and animator by the online identity of Puffballs United released his second ever attempt at a small flash style game we all know as Breaking the Bank, which did pretty well all things considered when people first started realising its potential a whopping 7 years later, with huge channels like Markiplier playing the entire game series from Breaking the Bank right up until the recently released Completing the Mission, with the view count of all the videos at this time of researching amassing a whopping 136.4 million views for the Markiplier channel. So, I thought for a good video idea I would purchase all 6 games for myself for the low price of $11.39 on Steam and play through all of them, finding the secrets, achievements and bios of all the characters. Basically think of this as like a mix of Icarus and the Completionist, although, I'm being brutally honest, I would hate to see what those two look like mixed together, especially the Icarus half of things. Now we start off the game collection with the epilogue of the entire series, that being Breaking the Bank, which is the first in this series, but the new collection, which recently released, actually redesigned the entire game from scratch, making the graphics more up to standard and changing a few of the characters' looks, and even changing the outcomes of the shovel, wrecking ball and explosive options in the game. Originally, you tried to use the wrecking ball and it would come back and squash you, whereas this time, a guard just comes out looking confused and basically tells you to go away with a gesture. The explosives will fail to go off, so you walk over and then they blow up, but this time they blow up prematurely when a bomb lands on the trigger and explodes the entire thing. And this time the shovel, which is now a Legend of Zelda reference might I add, used to be you would dig down into a deep tunnel and you'd find yourself in a railway system and then get hit by a train, whereas this time you dig too far down, you hit a gas main which you then blow up with your lighter because you try to see in the dark and you explode. In this new collection of games by Puffballs United, they've also added 2 new things into their system. One being the character bios, which you can collect by right-clicking on each individual character that you see while you play the games, and the achievements alongside them, which you can get by completing the mission with all the endings, with all of the secrets being found and everything, and with all the fails that you can do. But some secrets are really obscure and difficult to find, and I respect that a lot from Puffballs United. It makes the game just that little bit more... It's the small details like that which makes it a little bit more challenging, let's just say, even for a small flash game like this, but they are a hell of a lot of fun to play. Anyway, to end this game, you choose the money bag disguise option and get thrown into the back of the van and then put into the vault where the money is kept. You stand up and raise your hands to celebrate, only to trip one of the laser alarms and get caught instantly afterwards, which then leads us on to escaping the prison. Escaping the prison takes place immediately after breaking the bank, as we join Henry in his cell while 2 guards make fun of him for being locked up, and they give him a cake with nothing in it, says the new guard, who definitely checked it.
Don't get your hopes up. We've already checked it for anything useful, haven't we, Dave? What? Yeah, of course I checked it. I mean, if I didn't check it, I'd lose my job, and I don't want to lose my job.
Oh yeah, and really quickly, we have an animated intro cutscene this time. They throw in the cake we got given and it opens up, revealing the options. Jesus, that's a big cake. Must have been a layer cake. This game is the first in a series where we're introduced to multiple endings, which will become a recurring theme in future development of all the other games in the Stickmin saga. Now, this time there are 3 different endings that can be accessed from the cake. The lame ending using the cell phone, the badass ending using the drill, and the sneaky ending using the file. If you use the phone option, the entire segment of the game becomes an Ace Attorney reference, with your lawyer being Felix White. This is a game full of references, as you will learn over the course of the videos. The sneaky ending has Henry file off one of the bars of the cell and defend himself from attacks from in front and behind. He then has to escape 2 guards that come out of an elevator and come in to attack you, so you lock yourself in a room with a belt of grenades and a chair. You use the chair to get into a vent and go right, where you somehow find yourself on the roof of the building. Not quite sure how, but we move on. You use a couple of plungers to scale the wall of the building and run off into the evening. The third ending is the badass ending, my personal favourite, where you start off by pulling a drill out of the cake, because that makes sense. You land in a room with a crowbar and an opacitator. You use the crowbar to get through the manhole covering the floor and crawl through the sewer until you make it to the main hall and get chased by some guards. They give chase to you and you run down away from the gunfire and then towards the wall to flip off of and run again. This time being cornered by a load more guards by the entrance. They all fire at Henry, but he Matrix bullet times himself to dodge the bullets and then grabs one out of midair, throws it back at the main guard who drops his weapon, and you simply walk out, ending the badass route of the story. Escaping the prison introduces the first high amount of achievements and character bios to collect, and a lot of the bios you can only get through the failing routes, so you need to play the game's routes multiple times over before you're capable of getting all of them. One of which is a right bastard for you to collect, because one of the options is a skeleton that you go past using the opacitator, which is awful, because no one would think a skeleton would be one of the answers. But either way, again, we move on. The bios are split between every decision, and most of them are with more than 5 people that are on timed events, so you have to be quick to get them or face doing the exact same unskippable cutscenes again over and over until you're able to collect all of them. For example, the meeting room and the exit of the badass ending can actually go and fuck themselves with the amount of people in the short time you have to click. I'm not complaining about playing the game as a whole. The multiple options are a very funny way to make the game, and they're very creative and a fun way to explore. It's just so repetitive. Anyway, the achievements are near enough the same thing as last game. You know, finish with all the failures, do all the endings, get all the bios. But this time there are 4 secrets you can collect. You can get the achievement of It's a Joke by clicking on the word opaque in the description of the opacitator. Then when you're falling through the floor using the opacitator, you can get one of the 5 donuts needed to get the Donut Want secret. The first one is on the pizza box when you fall through the floor. There are 3 in the previously mentioned meeting room, and then there's one on the hand of an officer when you use the energy drink and slow down time. Another one of the secrets is actually really easy to get when you play it the first time. If you press down when running away from the guards before you hit the wall, your character falls over. This is a reference to characters randomly slipping when trying to run left and right in Smash Bros. Brawl, although I'm not massively confident about that because I haven't played the game myself. The 4th and final secret of the episode is and no, I'm not kidding. To get the secret, during the sneaky ending, after scaling the wall with the plunges, you click on the sun and it activates the secret, that being a Shoot the Whoop reference. Also, I just want to point out real quick, in that meeting room, there are like 6 different people with different variations of the name John, and I'm kind of uncomfortable thinking about it, to be honest. And that is the first 2 games in a nutshell. I was going to do all 6 in one video, but knowing how big they are and how long they can go on for, I'm going to save the rest of them for their own respective videos. But for the first one, this has been Breaking the Bank and Escaping the Prison. I hope you enjoyed the video altogether. If you did, leave a like and subscribe. Share with your friends if you think they'll enjoy the video as well. If you have any constructive criticism on the video, leave a comment saying how to improve, and I'll see you in the next video. Also, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, WD Gaming Reviews, or on Twitter, WD Gaming, capital R, because I couldn't fit the entire thing on my @. This has been WD Gaming Reviews, a review channel that doesn't really review, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you all for watching.